I think it's time to tell you the truth about the Battle of Blood River. There was no battle. It was a braaivleis. It was a wonderful example of reconciliation between Voortrekker and Zulu. And when you actually look at the paintings of the Battle of Blood River, yes, they look very violent, but they're not meant to be violent because they were painted with a very subtle Afrikaner sense of humor. Well, you'll never find it. Let me just point it out to you. Behind me, you can see Voortrekkers are aiming at the Zulus, but they're not shooting at the Zulus. They're shooting at the Springboks behind the Zulus with which to feed the Zulus at the braaivleis. Right at the back, you can see a tannie. Sy lyk baie benoud asof iemand haar handsak gesteel het, but she's just doing the toy like any school teacher on strike. And yes, the river is full of Zulus. It reminds me of Durban Beach on Christmas Day. But when you look carefully, you can see what a lovely time they're having. They are turning their shields into surfboards and their assegais into paddles. Yes, they've turned this into the first Doozy Marathon, proving once again that we sometimes must rewrite our own history to force the square peg of the past into the round hole of the future. But the moment the British colonialists at the Cape found out that the Zulus and the Voortrekkers were having such a nice time at Bloedrivier, they decided to come into Natal and take away the nice time, which is what British do. And so the British army marched into Natal, forcing the Voortrekkers to repack their ox wagons, dismantle them, and carry them back across the Drakensberg, 2 keer in 1 jaar. Because in their meanness, the British didn't tell us there was a nice tarred road all the way from Bellville to Pretoria. Of course, once in the hinterland, we Afrikaners could form our independent republics of the Orange Free State and the Transvaal, which should have been the end of the story, because at last we Afrikaners had independence, if not self-respect and or a sense of humor. But no, near 9 icona. 2 terrible things happened to us. Gold and diamonds were discovered on our land, and as you know, we Afrikaners don't want worldly things like gold and diamonds. We want aesthetic things, like cheap servants. But the British knew the value of the diamonds, and the British army invaded our sacred republic of the Orange Free State in the middle of the night. Ons was nog in die slaap. They got to our border. They stopped. They took off their army boots, and they tiptoed barefoot through the Orange Free State, digging holes for our diamonds. And the next morning when we woke up, what did we find? Holes for Africa. Die groot gat van Kimberley. Die groot gat van de Aar. Tannie se groot gat op haar plaas.
Evita, Evita, and you know what we mean. Evita, Evita, always on the scene. Evita Bezuidenhout, Evita should be queen.